You've already said stuff to me, haven't you?
Yeah. Things back.
Oh,
So I don't know if she's. Let's go.
She watch that guy behind you there.
Josh is okay. Yeah, he won't hurt you.
He's the next CB. You gotta keep an eye on him.
Does he think the truth?
I heard the part in the other day. It was all you. The high school kids.
I did. I was on the phone with them today.
I didn't know, like, I didn't touch it, I didn't know, wasn't it? I figured I'd just forward it. It's all for the. And it worked, so.
Yeah, he's going home
I'll
like
be down to park.
do 2 logins. So I had to like file it under my one river one. So it's tied to like my social security number, so we could only have one account.
Okay.
So he should, Matt's just gonna send it to my on river. I should be able to approve it that way.
So you're gonna pay there, that I'm not doing.
We'll still have to sign it. I have to sign it first.
All right, just let me know.
It must be the.
I don't have the paperwork yet.
Okay.
But you didn't tell me what's in it.
Yeah, he's usually like right before the meeting. Here, so.
I recorded it early, so I didn't have to get that.
No, I can't. I already told them.
I don't blame
Do it now before you do the house. That's when I love doing it.
you. Maybe we get the.
Very
Try
nice.
to get some little money.
Agenda.
Is there anything wrong? Your chair.
So we're gonna order it, advertise.
Okay, there he is. We don't know, take it, whether you were gonna be here later or not.
I'm like, he went on me. Now I'm gonna find another one.
Thank
Yeah.
My whole 6 years high.
So I was the class 82, 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reaching over your shoulder. How are you doing?
Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah. So it does make small, that, I'm saying, no,
Right, I want you to be. He's gonna be taking my spot when I retire. We're going to retire.
2 years.
Oh, yeah, I already got through.
What's it put off? I just showed you, 27th. 27th of July, friend.
You got- Here, you need these.
We're gonna rig it up so you can work from home. Yeah, I wanna see that.
Well, you could get him a drone, you can drive it around.
They're cracking in the
We,
spot.
we talked about plowing streets with like,
Drone?
Oh, yeah.
put the receiver on the truck and we can sit at the garage, and drive it down the road.
Too late.
Yeah.
I want one on the police cruiser.
I probably would go, I won't say.
We gotta make it, just to make sure it's all on.
It's every fall.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do do it with those nice looking copies.
I'm not anybody.
Okay, for the signs, for the 1,000 projections, okay.
Yeah. Yes.
At this time, during the meeting, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, let the minutes show that all members of council are present. Reports. Borough manager.
Thank you. Just a few housekeeping items. I did see a few new faces this evening. If you are new, we do have a sign-in sheet if you'd like to speak on during our agenda item speaking session or non-agenda item speaking session, you can sign in. I will also note, I did make a post on Facebook, the cable to our conference owl snapped off, and it's a pretty, specialized cable. They don't have those at the dollar store. So I am recording both on the laptop and also this laptop here. So if the audio recording isn't as good on the other laptop, I'll be able to post both for you over the next couple of days. So just to let you know that's going on. And I will flip to the borough manager's report. I'll just blaze through it. I did write a lot this time, so if you had a chance to review the packet, it is posted on the website for you to read my report. And I'm just going to highlight a few things. So one of the things being the capital improvements ordinance, which is section 501. So one of the things I noticed when I was looking through our budget is that we don't really have a line item for what I would consider something called contingency or rainy day fund. And that fund is used to cover expenses that might be like emergencies, or if you have something come up like a special event like America 250th, or if you have specifically, some people use contingency funds for to help with legal fees when you have settlement payouts. So there's a bunch of different things that you can use that type of line item for. We do not have one of those. We do have a capital improvements account. That's kind of where all of the savings has been funneled into, which is good for us. But those are restricted. So in order to help unrestrict some of those to be able to use it for other things for the taxpayers, we are going to kind of look and dive into the legality process of that, whether or not we can do that for 2026 or whether or not we have to wait for 2027 to create that contingency fund. So that's just one of the things that I'm working on. It's in the legal review process right now, but I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. Next is the street ordinance. We have been talking about this the past couple meetings about the parking. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. About the code enforcement duties that fall under the Public Works Director, and then also the construction times for our fall and winter. So we do hope to have a draft ordinance to take that into consideration. I do want to explore the option of having a designated code enforcement officer. We're going to look at a cost analysis for that to see whether or not that would be cheaper than our current contractor, LMIA, maybe even getting some better services out of a code enforcement officer versus a third-party vendor. And then also, of course, we all have seen the aftermath of the cold patch when it's winter outside. We're trying to plow it with our snow plows and it's scraping against our plows and it's also tearing up the road. So we're going to look at that. And of course, we will follow the proper legal procedure, which is advertising, public hearings, and then finally motion to adopt a new ordinance. Next, I want to talk about Ordinance 2, 2021, which is establishing regulations and guidelines for fences. So that we will be advertising a public hearing for that, and we will have the draft ordinance out for everybody shortly to be able to review that. I do plan to post that on the website and then also hopefully on the Facebook page once I get that from our solicitor. We've also been talking in the past couple meetings about the parking spaces behind the borough building here. And I had some discussions with residents through email, through phone call. This includes business owners. And there's a lot of different things that we talked about. We talked about things from metering the parking to having parking permits, increasing, decreasing, making free parking. So I just wanted to make the public aware that I've received kind of all of those avenues, and I do intend over the next couple of meetings to continue to solicit feedback to update the draft ordinance. I do welcome, you don't have to be a business owner or a resident on Main Street, but if you'd like to offer your opinion on the parking situation, we'd love to hear it. So please get that information to us. And then I did, on page 2 of my report, outline kind of the legal process for ordinance updates. It is a slow process, so just bear with us. You know, it's for your protection to make sure that we're doing everything appropriately. And, you know, we'll just work slowly through the ordinances that you've all brought to our attention. And then I just wanted to note that I do have an engagement in Pittsburgh on May 18th that I was pre-committed to. So I will not be at that meeting, but our solicitor will be available to help run the meeting that night. And we'll still live stream and record it as well. Any questions from council on my borough manager's report?
I have a question here, Irene. It says, in exchange for a small increase in cost, the borough would consider shoveling and snow blowing the sidewalks on Main Street, I guess?
Yeah, that was just a discussion item.
Yeah,
It
I
came
like
up
that idea. It's a good idea.
during a verbal discussion. Some of the people I talked to really liked it. Other people felt that it should still remain the resident or the business's responsibility.
And we're gonna talk about this when the draft comes out.
Absolutely, yeah, there's gonna be plenty of time for public input, for council input. These are just discussion items that I gathered that I said I was gonna present to you. And I'll take questions from anybody in the public on my borough manager report at this time. Hearing none?
No written report from the solicitor.
Correct.
Okay, chief,
I provided a copy of my report. Anybody has any questions? In addition, I did make contact with the new gas station or service station down here to get their information to update for emergency purposes. And I did complete the amusement tax for all the businesses this week.
There were no problems with that collection?
I'm sorry.
No problems collecting the amusement tax?
I don't collect, I
Well-
just count the machines, but for,
No problem getting in and collecting?
no, and I visually inspect each business. So, yeah, everybody was forthcoming and honest with everything, so.
any other questions for chief? Okay, engineer,
Okay, so as far as the pedestrian corridor enhancements, phase 4, lighting, final restoration is anticipated next week, assuming that they get the shields and the timer, and that was part of that change order to add to the project. So as long as they get in, it's supposed to be delivered this week. It'll be out in there next week. They're gonna do it all at the same time. So if there's a delay in those deliveries, it'll be the following week or whatever. So, but they should be able to do final restoration there. The phase 5 project, currently bids are scheduled to be open May 18th meeting. I'm proposing to delay that to June 1st, because we don't have that final easement yet. I don't see any reason why we have to push it. We only have 2 bidders. We believe there's going to be a third. We're still calling contractors, trying to get more bidders for the project, so I'll give a little bit more time. Assuming we proceed with the condemnation, once it's filed, you need 30 days before you can take ownership, assuming there's no, for that final easement, assuming there's no, nothing claimed by the property owner to fight it. So, preliminary objections, I guess that's the official term. So, so being that even if, say that was filed, say that everything's approved, that was filed at the end of this week, we're looking at through the first week of May or June, first week of June before we can award anything. So there's no reason to open May 18th. So we're planning on issuing an addendum for a couple items tomorrow. What we're going to do is extend the bid time frame as part of that addendum to the June 1st meeting. So the items in that addendum are associated with PennDOT HOP. even though they've already done multiple reviews, we've addressed everything. And not decided to issue another comment letter. I'm not really sure why, but nothing significant, just diddly stuff. A couple of things that they quote unquote feel they should, that it should be revised. Nothing really based on regulation. They were easy fixes. We did it. We're gonna issue an addendum for it, and hopefully we'll have everything squared away with our ECMS login and all that. I'm assuming that we're good on that, Michaela, or just on our way. Because they
Yeah.
can't, they should be able to issue the HOP at that point, so.
Yeah, I know that Stephanie's still working on the language, and then Jesse's working on getting into that. So,
Say the language you're talking about for the resolution.
yeah,
Okay, we won't have that to approve for tonight then.
correct, we'll have to take a look.
Okay, so that'll push forward definitely till at least mid-June. Still open bids, but we definitely need that to be.
Yeah, we'll put it on the 18th.
What are we looking for, like, for completion of the phase 5? What are we talking about that we know now?
Yeah, I mean, I still think we're fine to get done this year. I mean, it's more complicated work than say phase 4, but there's a lot less sidewalk, you know what I mean? Less lights overall for, I mean, heck, I think they put the 21 lights in the, only did the installation for those, for phase 4 in a matter of a couple weeks. The concrete wise, there's less concrete overall than phase 4 was, a lot less length. So I don't see an issue with still getting completed, but we definitely need to, we can't really delay it any further if we want to get done this year. There's also not a whole lot of restoration because it's mostly pavement and concrete in this location. So if there's anything on the fringes and that doesn't grow, obviously we'll have to address in the spring. And hopefully everything can be done in time and they can still see and get everything squared away by then. So I think we're still okay. We just got to make sure we get that last easement location. So. And then, yeah, that's it. That's it for those. Any questions on phase 4, phase 5? Concrete. Or as Blair Street, truck restrictions, we submitted a letter requesting permission to install multiple signs on SR 164. As of the time I wrote my report, we haven't received anything back yet. It had been since last month. Sent a reminder there. I want to say it was Wednesday or Thursday last week. They got back to us with a couple questions. We're working on answering those. As soon as we get that squared away, they're willing to approve us installing a couple signs, basically directing truck traffic, the Lincoln Machine Company on 164. Then we'll be able to we'll finalize our engineer's report and we can move forward with the restriction, applying restrictions. I'm assuming that we'll need an ordinance for that. But that provide that information to the solicitor so she can put those documents together so that we can put the truck restrictions up. So, other than that, then nothing else. Good question. Questions for John?
Okay, Public Works.
So I'm gonna jump in really briefly here. I'd like to welcome Logan. I have trouble with your last name. He is our new Deputy Director of Public Works. We're super happy to have him, and he's gonna be here for the next 36 years. He's been working very closely with Fran, who we will miss. We're very excited to have him on board. You know, he's a firefighter. He lives in the area, so he's just an all-around hardworking young man, and I just want to welcome him to the team. Well, you've been a part of the team, but you know. It's all yours.
Okay, everyone has a copy of my report. Does anyone have any questions?
Fran, with the Main Street, like the holes and all that, I know we reached out to PennDOT before. What's the plan for that?
Okay, that was the next topic. I was gonna talk about, George. No, that's fine.
Fran and I have been pounding their voicemails, emails, texting.
I talked with Pete Poborski this morning and, I explained to him again, I says, you know, about the holes. And he told me that, right now they're finishing their sweeping operations, which has everyone tied up. He said that he's going to try to get another crew together for possibly next Monday. We did discuss about addressing the holes. We both agree that they need dug down at least 2 feet.
Right.
Dump the stone in like wrap, okay, and rock it, compact it, and then just bring it up to the top with base. And I said base would be fine because they're gonna pave it next
Right.
year. We're interested in everything holding up. So he's gonna start with the one at the light, the one that's in the arch, which he's just gonna top that because there's a water line underneath there. And then the big one right there at Legion Avenue, and I think one down at the turn, down below the power wash. I do believe he said that one. Can't remember that. So that's where we left that. So we're hoping that next Monday we can see some action there.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Can we address the streets where they're coal patching,
What's that now?
the streets where they're coal patching with the water project?
Yeah, what?
You need to address that, yeah. Those things are sinking like
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
Johnson Avenue's like riding on a washboard.
Okay. I can talk to Matt Hand tomorrow and bring that up to him.
All they need to do is bring them up a level. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's not gonna hold, but
Yeah. Yeah, this week they're currently working on Johnson Avenue, installing all the services. They're gonna end at the tire shop this week, so we do know that. So, and then the other crew too is, gonna be working on South Railroad Avenue, be from Blair Street down to Lehman's. So, but, it seems like that's short work for a whole week, so I think he might be able to have some time to get some work patch in there.
that's all. Just bring them up. He brings them up level.
So, yeah. Yeah, the mains have been taking a pounding. I know Gillespie Avenue is just horrible. So,
All I got, like,
okay, buddy.
I got one quick question. Below the tunnel there where, I don't know, the gas company came from the Legion to Main Street, the manhole. And most of that down there, they repatched is all right, but if you're coming up Main Street right before the tunnel, whatever
Okay.
that street is coming from the Legion to Main Street, they
Uh-huh.
trenched out and now that thing's about 5 inches deep. It's its own,
Okay. Okay, that's Continental's work also, so
it's sinking, but
I'll address that with Matt Hand along with Ronnie's, suggestion. Okay.
Anything else, Fran?
No.
Any other questions?
Hey,
Okay, item 3, correspondence. Item 4, citizen input on agenda items. A period of not more than 5 minutes will be allowed per visitor.
Miss Irene is on, I just want to check for record, if you want to speak, are you okay? You're good, all right. Ms. Kinley?
No.
Thank you. Matt? Would you like to speak?
Yeah, fine. Just following up on that. Two.
I swear.
Oh, 4-2.
Yeah.
I did know last year, I did see somebody, sheriff or someone text something on it, saying about taking the court net for the property. I was now checking this, going farther.
What they do, they remove the porch roof and that was about it and everything else is.
Yeah, they took that and they dumped on the side of the house. I do know.
How's that worked out?
I do know somebody, sheriff or somebody came up, tapped something on there. I walked there, read something about them taking them to court and that, but then they came and they ripped it off and that was.
Have they been back?
I haven't seen him. The neighbor said he saw him once, same thing, they came into the house, put something in, took something out. Gone. I haven't seen him since last fall. I do know they didn't have a roofing contractor come.
Oh, really?
Yeah, kind of, I mean, but
did they do anything to it?
no, I said they didn't tear down the front porch because it was gonna fall on itself, and they did it. They said they took that, and dumped it off the side, but they said now there's shingles not blowing off through there, there's nails from on one side of the yard.
Chief, I think, did you, well, Vern,
He actually did get a hold of the one.
Okay,
They
yeah.
ended up where I actually got to talk to them. But I said, I'm just curious.
There, apparently she was, the two girls that I talked to, they will get the property from their father and he owns Yes, properties in Johnstown and other places around the area.
You know, what was the address on that again?
No, it's 4 or 6. Very four, that's the 8 people.
If you wanna leave your contact info on here, we'll take a look at that and I can get back to you on with greater detail.
I said I knew it.
I know, it was brought up well, forever, but
Yeah, last
I
fall.
know Chief had to run in with the people, the owners and stuff. Cause they're from out of state, and she said,
I think from Washington DC, what they said.
yeah. It's in bad shape, it's dangerous.
I do have a question, but in the same lines as this, and Emily, maybe you can help out. Fran and I are in a little bit of a pickle on 2 of these properties.
Picking up their phone number too.
Thank you.
If somebody, like I tracked this person, one of the owners of the property, I forget which one was it, but it's on their orchard, right?
Yeah, it's Orchard, yeah, 837 and I believe
43 or something.
840.
So-
843.
The one is lives out of state now. I tracked them down to Duncansville, last known address, post office said they gave no forwarding address, did an internet search, it came back to like Nevada or something, I have it on my desk. Sent a letter there last year to that address and it comes back undeliverable. What happens when it's an abandoned, like, you can't, I don't know what the steps are from there.
Yeah, I'll have to get the solicitor to put something together for us. So I'll just have to pull those files. For
Okay,
those specific properties. She can advise us on next steps.
I was just curious if Fran and I are kind of out of line.
Yeah, we were unsuccessful, getting that property cut last year. We chased that person all last summer and
Both
to
actually.
no avail, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something with abandoned properties that we might be able to take it over and demolish it or, but I don't know the legal process, so I'll just double check with the solicitor.
Okay.
Anybody else want to speak? No.
Oh, yeah, main line was on.
I actually do have a question, if that's okay.
That's absolutely good. We
What,
never have questions.
what would be an appropriate time to announce that I'm getting audio of the meeting? I haven't started yet, but I just wanted to make sure I was in compliance with yours.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We could do it now. Everybody's being recorded. We're being recorded on the borough laptops and, mainline also has a recording this evening. Is there anybody else in the audience this evening
You good?
doing a recording? Oh, okay. Your name, sir? Oh, thank you. And, the Altoona mayor is also present with us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, item 5, minutes of previous meeting. There are no minutes for approval. Item 6, treasurer's report and bills to be paid. Treasurer's report, April 20th to May 3rd, 2026. Total revenue, $25,840.63. Motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented. Motion made by Ron Cadwater, second by Henry Harris. Ron Cadwater. Yes. Mark Slobodnik.
Yes.
Harry Scarton.
Yes.
Henry Harrison.
Yes.
Ron Fortash.
Yes.
Bob Fox.
Yes.
Myself, George Wozniak. Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Motion to approve the list of bills to be paid in the amount of $25,930.28. The list of bills to be paid was presented, which were distributed prior to the meeting. Motion. Motion made by Ron Fortash, second by Ron Cadwater. Ron Cadwater. Yes. Mark Slobodnik.
Yes.
Harry Scarton.
Yes.
Henry Harrison.
Yes.
Ron Fortash.
Yes.
Bob Fox.
Yes.
Myself, George Wozniak, yes, motion carries 7-0.
They're gonna table motion C, because we don't have the legal document yet.
What's this one for table?
Yes.
Okay, item C, motion condemnation of remaining easement. I need a motion to table that item. Motion made by Ron Fortash, second by Henry Harrison. Ron Cadwater.
Yes.
Mark Slobodnik.
Yes.
Harry Scarton.
Yes.
Henry Harrison.
Yes.
Ron Fortash.
Yes.
Paul Fox.
Yes.
Myself, George Wozniak, yes, motion carries 7-0. Item D, motion to advertise public hearing, speed limit ordinance. Motion to authorize the borough manager to advertise a public hearing and the borough's intent to adopt ordinance number 1-2026. This ordinance amends chapter 15, part 2, section 201 of the Code of Ordinances to revise maximum speed limits. The public hearing is hereby scheduled for June 15th, 2026 at 6:15 PM at the Borough Building located at 721 Main Street, Port HPA. Need a motion. Motion made by Ron Cadwalder, second by Ron Portash. Ron Cadwalder.
Yes.
Mark Slobodnik.
Yes.
Harry Scarton.
Yes.
Henry Harrison.
Yes.
Ron Portash.
Yes.
Paul Fox.
Yes.
Myself, George Wozniak, yes, motion carries 7-0.
And I'll just jump into a brief description. So I am gonna try to provide residents with the advertising outline on all of our agendas. I'll just provide some transparency for you, or if you have any questions on the ordinance process. And just because we make a motion to authorize the public hearing of an ordinance, doesn't mean the council has to pass it. So if there's ever a draft ordinance that residents don't agree with, council doesn't agree with, they are more than welcome to strike that ordinance down, vote to change that ordinance. This is just part of the process to get that started. Thank you.
Okay, advertisement and publication schedule. To meet the statutory requirements, published twice, 7 days apart, and at least 7 days before the hearing, the following schedule is established. Public hearing date, June 15th, 2026 at 6:15 PM. First advertisement will be May 25th, 2026, within 30 days of the hearing. Second advertisement, June 1st, 2026, 7 days after the first and 14 days before the hearing. Okay, item 9, discussion items. Ordinance for discussion are in the borough manager's report.
Yeah, so does anyone have additional questions on any of the ordinances that we talked about this evening? Council or residents? Yes.
Forgive me, because it's been a while since the board of the council, but could you elaborate on the parking issue? Or I'm sorry,
The parking ordinance out back, the one that we were talking about.
speed limit ordinance that you guys just passed there.
Oh, yeah. So let me flip to the ordinance here, which is in our packet. So,
Are you guys seeing a bunch of like people speeding through the streets and whatnot? And can you elaborate on that?
yeah, absolutely. So we do have an area of town that the Johnstown Housing Authority owns, and the speed limit throughout the borough is generally 25 miles per hour, except for a couple of areas such as Johnson Avenue, Prospect Street, High Street, which are 15-mile-per-hour school zones. We also have Mountain Avenue between Grant and High Street. Those are also 15-per-hour school zones. And there's been a recent discussion about, there's a high population of younger children located at the Johnstown Housing Authority property. And so I received several emails from some concerned residents about individuals speeding through Terrace Circle. And so we are advertising this ordinance so that we can change that specific area, beginning at Lincoln Drive through Washington Avenue, and then connecting to Terrace Circle to be 15 instead of 25. And we did put up the signs, although I did make an announcement that at the last meeting that those signs are not enforceable just yet. We stuck them up. We recognize that they're not enforceable at this time. It costs money to take them down, so we might as well just leave them up until we do get the ordinance process through. I did check with our solicitor. She said it's fine that we stuck them up. We just can't enforce it until we have the ordinance passed. But we're hoping in the meantime, maybe it will help deter some of the people that are speeding through the area. You know, as a borough, one of our main goals is public safety. So we want to make sure that our streets are safe for our kids. Any further questions?
Okay, item 10, unfinished business. Item 8, borough building roof.
Yes, we do have the settlement for that. I will not be here on the May 18th meeting, but I do plan to enter into executive session with counsel for litigation discussion on the June meeting, so that we can discuss that settlement and then, of course, come out and talk about it in public session. So we do have the settlement ready, and we will have that ready for the first June meeting. Any questions on that?
Okay, item B, Johnstown Housing Authority.
So I wanted to put the Johnstown Housing Authority on the agenda because we've had some back and forth recently over the past couple weeks or so. We have a relatively outdated agreement from 1959, and we would really love to have that updated. Since we have signed that agreement, the borough no longer does water and sewer. We now have authorities to do that. And I've reached out several times via phone call and email to the Johnstown Housing Authority Executive Director, who's also been in contact with his solicitor. And of course, our solicitor and our new solicitor have been in contact as well. And so we really want to focus on opening up negotiations for an updated contract so that we can be fair to all residents, not just the housing authority residents, but also Portage Borough, especially since we don't provide that service anymore. We did decide collectively, Portage Borough and the Water Authority, to work together to repair the leak that was there. We wanted to do that for the Portage Borough residents so that their water wasn't being wasted, and that, we could come together and just provide that safety service. But despite having fixed that, we do look forward to continued discussions with the Housing Authority. I do want to make a correction. I was not there personally to witness the comment, but I do believe that the solicitor at the last Johnstown Housing Authority meeting noted that Portage Borough was in favor of the current contract. We're not in favor of the current contract, and we do want to continue correspondence to try to get that updated. We want to be professional. We want to work together. We would appreciate, them offering us that same grace. And I just wanted to let residents know that on April 13th, our solicitor did send correspondence to the Johnstown Housing Authority solicitor. And so we are just kind of waiting to hear about that. We've cited a couple of local cases, one of them being the Housing Authority in the city of Altoona. So we're hopeful that the Housing Authority will come back and have discussions.
We need to stay on top of that burned out building they have there too.
Yeah.
That's something about precedent here.
Absolutely. Yep. Our solicitors, we're kind of at a point now where I think their solicitor has told staff not to speak directly to us, and that's okay. We'll just have to deal like solicitor to solicitor at this point. So we'll just be working through that. Any further questions?
With that burned out building, isn't there a process we have to follow with burned out buildings? I mean, I know it's the Johnstown Housing Authority, but it still should be the same process.
Yeah, wasn't there an escrow that should?
That's what I'm saying from like a burden standpoint, because we've done that before.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than, if a private residence house is abandoned or.
So it should be better.
It should be. But if we're not getting correspondence from the other side, that makes it a little bit harder. But then we have to go more aggressively with our legal team to get correspondence out of that. So I do apologize for not having information on that, but our solicitor is working hard to get something for us.
Can I just ask a question on that fire? Like, what is their holdup? Because there was a fire a few years ago in the Antiglow projects. And they were in there in no time, gotten it and rebuilding that place.
I'm not sure.
And it was done by like 8-9 months later.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-story.
Well, I don't want to speak on their behalf. I would just say if any residents are concerned, call them. We can only call them so many times, or of course, they're gonna have to respond to us eventually, but just right now, I just have no information.
Okay, item C, capital improvements program account.
Yep, so I just wanted to put that on the agenda as a continued radar to start working through some of our capital projects that we have coming up in the summer and in the fall. I won't be putting anything, I might have one thing for approval on the 18th, but we'll dive more into it in the June meetings, especially because about that time, I like to start gathering data for the 2027 budget. So just to keep that on everybody's radar, that we'll be working on that. Thank you.
Okay, item 11, buildings, facilities, and roads. Item A, American Roofing.
I do have that on there again, just stating basically that our solicitor is gonna work on that. Hopefully we'll have that soon. And then item D is the stop sign proposal, and I am working with Fran to have that study looked at. I did think it was PennDOT, but I do think that Stifler McGraw has to do that study. Is that correct, Fran? You,
We would do an engineering study, so you're proposing to put stop signs?
yes, and there is a map attached, and we can talk about it. There's no motion tonight, it's just
Yeah, there's certain, we have to go through certain words and their justification for it.
I don't, my opinion on that, I don't think that's necessary to put stop signs there. It's been there for how many years? How many accidents have you ever had down there?
Well, the problem that with that is I was approached by several people because, and I was actually sitting towards the scrapyard on a different mission, we'll say, and they come from Lee Street, real straight through there. I observed them, like a bunch of them, and I couldn't go after them at the time. And here, within the last, I'd say 4 to 5 weeks, I've had several complaints from people coming from the scrapyard that are actually slamming the brakes on because people are rolling. They're not looking right. So that's the only reason why I put it in there, just to see if it would be possible to do that. And if you did one, you might as well make it a 3-way, you know what I mean, to where everybody has to come to a stop, even the scrapyard, people coming out, so they don't get creamed. Because a lot of times when you come up there, somebody will start to turn, the other person just blows right through. Like if you're coming from Main Street, then you make the right onto Lee. These people aren't even stopping that side, they're rolling around. And you know how normally you have to stop anyway to let, because it's so tight there.
Yeah, it's tight.
And so I just figured, I just put it in there for a suggestion that as far as on behalf of the people that have been complaining about, that's all.
It'd be easier maybe have a guy sit down there once in a while and pick a couple of these guys off.
Well, and I have, I've been down at actually there and, what's it called? Lee and,
Lee and Delancey,
no,
or Lee,
North
North
Railroad.
Railroad.
no. Down right that past the Legion.
Hopper Avenue.
What is it?
Hoffer Avenue.
I picked a few out, actually a bunch out of there here in the last couple of weeks. But no matter if you're not there, they just go, and I was back far enough to be hidden for a different reason. And they just roll right through there. He's right. So I just figured for public safety, it might not be a bad idea, but you guys are the boss, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you put a stop sign there coming up to Main Street, and with all the construction work on Main Street, you're gonna have traffic. If everybody's stopping, you're gonna have traffic sitting out on Main Street. If everybody's gonna convert that way.
Well, they're doing that now. I mean, because when you're coming up Lee to make the left on the North Railroad, whoever's coming up North Railroad has to stop anyway because it's so tight with that telephone pole. You almost have to let that person go before the other person makes the right. So
Yes,
either way, I mean, even after construction's over, I just felt that it might be a public safety issue, might be a good idea to throw a couple in there if we can. But, like I said, it's up to you guys. At least if nothing else coming from the scrapyard. If we could get one there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna-
At a minimum.
that's what I was gonna suggest.
Yeah.
That way, because that'll make up for the people that don't look white.
Right, and they
And
never,
they-
Yeah.
maybe that would be a good.
A sight distance there.
Coming from the Lee, actually, sight distance is good.
Yeah, yeah, since they
the whole
put
way
the
around.
Starlight down, yeah, that's wide open now.
They just ignore it because they figure, no, it's not it's not a public, right, and they just run through.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain warrants that we have to go through from PennDOT and to justify, it. And it can be difficult to justify stop signs sometimes, but we can certainly take a look at those. Even before going through and completing something formal, we can take a quick look and see if it's even worth looking into as well. So.
Yes.
Not pertaining to that, but this is towards Mr. Hirschberger. Was here a couple meetings ago about the old Cotter Sheriff Building.
705 Cambria.
It's another one of those challenges that we're trying to find people. right?
Okay.
Got the one.
Here's my
Well-
question.
The,
Are we looking into us taking it down, getting it out of there, getting rid of the problem and then going after these people, making them pay for it? Or are we just gonna wait until it falls, or how are we gonna do this?
Well, I do believe Chief, did you make contact with those guys? And they
Yeah,
they gave you the runaround?
I got information that was passed on to me about a license plate and everything, so I ended up calling these people. They wanted to know who I was, and I told them who I was, and they said that, he gave me a wrong first name, first of all. And he wouldn't give me his last name. And he said, I'm not the owner, but I can pass it on. I said, okay. I said, you understand, I got your license plate. That's the reason why I knew how to contact you. I know what your last name is. And he goes, well, I'm not the owner. I'll give you the name of the owner. So I gave the name of the owner. I didn't talk to her in Johnstown, and she said, I said, is this, I forget her first name, but she said, yeah. And I said, ma'am, I told her who I was. I said, it's on behalf of the borough dealing with this property. And I said, what is your last name? Well, I'm not giving you my last name, but I can give you, and I already knew her last name. So they're less than helpful. And I said about the flu, and I said about tar paper that was blowing around.
In the yard.
And she said, well, I'm gonna need 2 weeks to do it. And I said, we understand you can be cited each day if it's not taken down, especially this flu. It's a danger to the public.
That's gonna kill somebody.
I said, this needs taken down. They said they would, and they don't. I knew they wouldn't. I know who they are. I have their information, their address. They are the owner. And I even checked with, I believe, the water department to verify that that's who the people are that are owning the property. So at that point, I spoke with Fran and MK about possibly getting LMIA involved in it, because it's something, it's not grass, it's not a van, a vehicle. For me to keep up with it,
Right.
they have more of a long-term mindset, not mindset, but a long-term agenda than I do to keep up with something like that for structural damage. And it might hold, they might have more teeth than I do too.
Yeah, because
So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
we went through this before when we had, brick roof in with the roof.
Yeah.
I mean, we saved them on that one the last time, and
Yeah.
I don't think this is right. I
They're
don't think
definitely-
it's fair to Mr. Hershberg.
They're definitely
No, it's
not cooperative at all. So I would assume that you'd have to, I'd assume if you end up going forward, go forward with, everything you got.
I mean, yeah, check the legality of it, but like I said, we had to step in the last time and.
Maybe we're gonna have to step in again.
Contractor, yeah.
We have to do something with that for somebody.
I don't want our kids getting hurt or
And
anything.
I remember Bob lined that up with the
Yeah.
brick, we could go and screw the tin down on the top of the roof.
Yeah, just gotta look at it from Mr. Hirschberger's point of view.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that flue goes like this.
Yes, it
I mean,
does.
And it's not attached, it's,
Yeah.
the base is all dissolved.
I've been there, I've got
Well,
all
and
kinds
I
of pictures.
think
of
there's
it.
even straps around it that are
They-
pulling.
Yeah, they're out, yeah.
The way the wind has been in this area, I mean, that's. It's not gonna wait to
You
happen.
better do something now than after someone gets hurt or killed.
Yeah, we're working on a couple of properties to get those submitted to LMIA.
Yeah, it's up for sale for 70,000.
Were you ever inside it?
I don't wanna be inside it.
It's.
I looked in the door was
Nothing
hanging
left to
open. I looked in there, that wasn't no.
Yeah, it's garbage. I mean, it's totally shot.
One more question. Somebody move into Homer's?
Some fun.
I seen a sign, GAC or something.
No,
that's why I'm asking.
What I understand that to be is he's changing those over to apartments. And the plumber that's working in there is whoever he just stuck the sign up for advertising. It's not there.
That's why I was asking.
It's not there because he's moving into it to run his business. He's just working there. So he just posted his sign as there.
Anybody know anything about the property on Jefferson Avenue, like the Nicholson, like the duplex there? There's been a lot of activity.
Last I heard, there was,
Squatters.
there's a couple squatters running around here, and they're not, their story's not checking out as far as they're receiving GoFundMe's, and they've been bumped out of several different jurisdictions, and I haven't seen them lately, but I did hear a couple weeks ago, last I heard was about 2 weeks ago, that they were living in there at one point. So we were, during patrols, we haven't seen the vehicle that was described to us to be able to go over and make contact. The only problem is with that, without without a victim, there's no crime and it's not our property. I can't evict them out of there, only Mr. Nicholson can. So if he has a complaint about somebody being in his property, then he has to come to us. We can't do anything unless
Wait,
it's borough
I'm
property.
just gonna interrupt you real quick, because we're on item B, which is stop signs, and we've kind of made an odd schedule, so. We can talk about this stuff, but let's put that under good of the borough instead, so let's go here for a minute.
All right, new business.
I have none.
Okay, citizens input on non-agenda items, a period of not more than 5 minutes will be allotted per visitor.
I'm just gonna go through our list again, Miss Irene? Miss Kinley? Matt? Mainline? Alton Mir? All right, we're good.
Okay, go to the borough.
All right, now you may continue.
Continue.
I have something for this though. Got a couple firefighters here. Why can't we get you guys together on a drill night? And go down and hose out this stone underpass here on Main Street? Maybe we can get some of his guys involved. You know, whatever wash it down.
Feel like we did before.
Maybe you take that back to your meeting or something and.
Back in the 70s.
That was actually when I was fire chief.
Yeah, we used to do that.
Get it,
on
yeah.
drill nights. We actually thought it was pretty fun.
It makes it look a heck of a lot better.
Some people get away.
Just as a side note, I did tell the fire guys that we could put them on the agenda for reports moving forward. Although I put this agenda together quite hastily, so if they do have anything to say, y'all can.
The only reason we're asking is it's getting to where we're gonna run out of time for this 250th thing, so.
Yeah, that's why I talked about the capital fund, and our solicitors kind of looking at whether or not we can use that to do special events, for the community, like a parade or, maybe a short service of some kind with the historical society. So we're working hard to try to get something for June, at least, on the agenda.
You guys maybe take that back to your meeting?
Yeah, meeting tomorrow.
I mean, if you want, bring the stuff down. The hose still fits in my hand, and I know how to do it, so.
We have a book about it.
Won't be the first time I drug hose in that arch, and it won't be the last, so.
I thought it was a fun drill night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but since we're talking about the fire department, hopefully they are gonna be able to continue to come to some of our meetings, and I'll give them an official spot up here with, Chief and Fran and everybody. And,
More the
just
merrier.
kind of building relations and working together as a team. Maybe we'll even get the water authority here sometime. We might have to drag Chuck, no, I'm just kidding. Just keep adding to the list. We're here to be transparent and to work together.
That property beside Nicholson, where my brother used to live, was sold at the tax sale. And then it was resold. Someone from Philadelphia bought it, and then now someone from New Jersey bought it.
There's a vehicle there with Florida plates on it.
Yeah, you get on GSI and find out,
See you, Gene.
they have an address and everything on there from GSI who bought it.
Yeah, one of the challenges and pros is that there's no zoning really in the borough. So it's kind of hard to not have those kinds of landlords.
I know they wanted to get in there and look at it. I don't know how, but they're gonna get hold of the owners.
I was gonna say, can't you get a hold of the owners to have at least security doors so nobody can get in?
We can have LMIA look into it.
That's another thing that, went on Canvas Street, that door to the upstairs needs security, because it's hanging wide open outside.
Can we tape that, Chief? Can we tape it? Like, do not enter. We'll have to do that.
On private property?
If it's not, no. That was fine.
That's why,
Not unless the solicitor would give me something to post.
that's why I was saying, if we go in there and
If the
do anything.
solicitor does, I can't
Okay.
to formally post it, but I can't go in on private property for just, you know what I mean?
All right. I'll talk to Stephanie about, like, can we post something in the meantime while we're trying to track down these people?
Hanging wide open. Anyone, any kid.
And while you're talking to her, you might as well ask her, what means do we have if we have to go in there and take it down? And what legalities or whatever, I mean, we did do that before because they weren't abiding by it.
Yeah, you definitely don't want, young people going in there getting hurt or anything like that, so.
The fire company doesn't need anybody in there playing around either, so.
I have evidence.
Okay, adjournment, motion to adjourn. made by Ron Fortash.
Did the chief want to go into
Executive session.
executive session or no?
That was,
I did not put executive.
that was,
session.
That was next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Stephanie's gonna do executive session with you guys next week.
okay, motion for adjournment made by Ron Fortash. Need a second. Second by Mark Slobodnik. All in favor? Nays, motion carries 7-0. Time is 7:20.
So.
Yeah.
Can't work on one. On calls.
Yeah, I thought this morning and, it seems to me that the ones are coming in from the west, okay? They must, GPS must bring them into the back.